Major developments in Syria. Russia's defense officials saying that their military cargo planes have delivered supplies to set up a tent camp for more than 1,000 refugees. This as Russian President Vladimir Putin is seeking to cast the military buildup and arms supplies going to the Assad regime, a key ally, as part of an international effort in the fight against ISIS. Meanwhile, President Obama is expressing concern about Russia's increasing involvement in the 4-year-old Syrian civil war. Joining us right now to talk more about it is Garry Kasparov. He is chairman of the New York-based Human Rights Foundation. He is also the former world chess champion. Garry, it's good to see you.
Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much for joining us. You are out with a book right now called Winter is Coming, about Putin and Russia. What's your take on Russia increasing its presence in Syria?
To be expected. We have been looking for different soft spots on the world map for Putin to attack next after Ukraine. We're talking about Baltics, about maybe North Caucasus, but he found even a better spot because he can achieve many goals by one shot in Syria. He supports Assad. It's a long-standing ally of Soviet Union and Russia. He also sends a message to all the dictators in the world that Putin does not leave his clients, in trouble. And of course, he is working closely with Iran. That's another strategic ally of Putin there. And together they believe they can control the Middle East, which is a vital region to control oil prices that are also vital for Putin. And as a side effect, good for Putin, hundreds of thousands, potential millions of refugees flooding Europe. And that's good because it creates chaos in Europe. And Europe in chaos is no longer capable to oppose Putin as one unit to curb his aggression in Ukraine.
Yeah, one of the real concerns here is the advanced S-300 air defense system. U.S. officials are concerned that Russia is moving ahead with these plans to sell Iran this sophisticated missile system. Why would they want to sell this missile system that actually could undercut Washington's ability to check on Tehran's airspace and check on Tehran's ability to create a nuclear bomb? Putin
always was a faithful ally of Iran. And by the way, Iranian nuclear program started all the way back in the mid-90s. It was Bill Clinton who raised this issue with Boris Yeltsin in 1995, and Russia paid no attention. And since that, the United States tried desperately to bring Russia as a partner to stop Iranian nuclear program, ignoring the fact that Putin's actually strategic interest in the region is exactly the opposite to America's and the free world interest.
Unbelievable. The latest Russian activity in Syria, unlike any officials have seen before since the start of the Syrian civil war 4 years ago, according to U.S. officials. This as we await the Iran developments.
But the problem with the Iranian deal is, I don't want to go into technical details, is that this administration and its allies in America and in Europe, they ignore the fact that for Iranians, for Putin, for Chavistas in Venezuela, for Castro regime in Cuba, for North Koreans, international conflict is an extension of domestic policies. They need conflicts, to distract their repressed citizens from their real problems. And by creating these problems, they play their sort of best card. It's their hot currency. Expectations that they can change their behavior is wrong. As long as Iran is controlled by mullahs, the great Satan will never retire.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they call America, the great
Absolutely.
Satan. And Iran has okayed Russian overflights to Syria. So they're okaying Russian flights en route to Syria over Iran.
They are closest allies in the region. Russia sells Iran the most sophisticated weapons. Russia helped Iran in these nuclear deals. Iran knows that Russia will veto any new attempts of the United States to impose new sanctions, and we know it's not going to happen. So, but together they believe that they have a great shot in the region. And while Putin can distract the world to pay attention to Syria, to Lebanon, to Iraq, to the whole region, he expects that he could have a free hand in Ukraine. Let's not forget, just yesterday, we had reports about new Russian military buildup at the border with Ukraine. So that's why Putin's game is not over. And one thing we can predict for sure: he sees the weak spot. He sees America retiring. He'll definitely feel the vacuum.
Yeah, which is why you write in the book, Putin trades on conflict.
Yes, on conflicts, on fear,
and on fear. Gary, the book is Winter is Coming. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time. Gary Kasparov, Winter is Coming. The Federal Reserve could vote as soon as this week on whether or not to raise interest rates. The meeting is Wednesday and Thursday. That's the big event for business. We're going to look ahead to the impact on markets and your life as we look ahead on Sunday Morning Futures. Back in a minute.